Hi, everybody. How are you on this fine day? I reason why the title of this live stream is "Can we get along with others on the world stage, or do we have to become a backwater third world nation?" Because I'll tell you, as I sit here, watching the various commentators on YouTube, various commentators on Rumble, etc. One thing hits me very poignantly. It seems like there's two camps. It seems like there are two camps, no matter which way you look at it. And then you got people out there in the digital wilderness. You got the left and you got the right. And I'm one of those that used to be on the left of the equation. I've slid to the right, but I don't know how far I've gone. But I will say this: can we get along with others on the world stage and be a nation united? Because I have read my history. I'm a great student of history, and for what I've seen, we've done some things that have amazed the world. Now we've fallen so far that we cannot pick ourselves back up by the quote unquote bootstraps. What I'm driving at is maybe that was just a myth that was perpetuated and then filtered down through the generations. Like you had the silent generation, then the baby boom. The silent generation was seen, not heard. They followed what the government told them. Baby boomers did their own thing. Same with X. They pretty much gave way to Apple, Spotify, all those different separate by song deals because it used to be the whole CD, tape, etc. They made mixtapes, and companies saw the value in that. Yeah, it was hell on earth for the the music creators, but it was something special for the others, the music companies. What I'm getting at is there some way that we can get along? Because from where I sit, it's not just a matter of if, but when. That is the God's honest truth. It's just not a matter of if, but when. Yeah, I put up a lot of these live streams multiple times a day because I get bored, I get lonely, and I try to see what the world does beyond just my corner of the world. Because I'll tell you right now, certain things, me and I have this love hate relationship with Donald Trump. I like his policies. I like what he's doing. Yes, I am definitely I am a disabled person, and I had to go through extra hoops because people have abused the system, and that system has I've had to jump through extra hoops. I would rather jump through those extra hoops so that way I can prove that I'm still disabled. Yes, do you think that this is simple for me to come on these live streams? No, it's not. It's taxing. But the reason why I do them because it gives me a release from shame, worry, guilt, etc. I'll tell you this because if you start, I was more of an affinity for the camera when I was a child. I was more of an affinity for the camera because I chose it. I naturally gravitated toward it, but I tried other lines of work and it was repetitive and boring. But if I could just sit there and talk my mouth off, maybe, just maybe, I might be able to do something different with my life. Yeah, things are not the best right now. The economy's in the crapper. But I will tell you this right now. Everybody says it's Biden's fault, and the Biden people say it's Trump's fault. But let me ask you this one question. Regardless of whose fault it is, Why can't we stand back and take a look as a one people, say it's the politicians that are making these laws that are causing people like you and me to go broke, that are causing us to have problems, the mismanagement of funds. The servants in Washington and politicians around the country are the ones that are should be held to a court. Because it used to be a certain protocol, a certain way that our country was taken. Now we're taken as a laughing stock. Not only a laughing stock, but a human pariah on the lines of North Korea, on the lines of Russia. Russia, it has a veneer of a democracy. North Korea is a hermit kingdom, and we're trying to get that opened up. And to put it bluntly, North Korea, I wouldn't mind talking to the North Koreans. They've walled themselves off because they don't see themselves as having a future. And what I'm driving at is, why can't we do that to help them get on their feet? Why do we always have to go, to conflict? Because it really bugs me that most people sit there and see us going to conflict all the time. And it really, really bugs me. Why can't we lift one another up? It, we should be able to help one another. And we need one another, or otherwise we'll just slowly die to ourselves. And yeah, we are imploding population wise. And believe me, it's my generation that's going to save this country. It's not going to be the boomers. It's not going to be the Gen Xers. It's not even going to be Gen Z. It's going to be my generation. And I know a lot of the older, and I've looked at the demographics. A lot of you older folks are like, nah. If anything about a boomer or a Gen Xer, like, nah, this country will not be saved by millennials. Who's going to be the biggest tax base? Who's going to be the person to carry the burden when the boomers finally leave the workforce? It sure ain't going to be Gen X by themselves. They're one of the smallest generations. So so it's going to be older millennials like myself who are going to fill in the gaps where Gen X won't be calling the shot. Will be calling the shots. That's the honest truth. But we'll be the reason why we didn't have a recession since 2009, the R word. One reason: people like me buying those stupid flip flops, bedazzled flip flops, and gym juice memberships. It does add up, and believe it or not, we had growth. This is the first year since 2009, I believe, that we've had a retraction and into a somewhat of an economic depression. So if we can go ahead and start to fix that problem and start treating one another with respect and dignity, I think we can get out of this mess. I don't see it happening off of the top of my head. I could be wrong. I could be just a little too naive to even see it happening. Maybe I'm just hopeful. Heck, I don't know. If you want to drop it in the comments that I'm just talking out of my rear end, please do. Because I guarantee you right now, I don't know what to say no more to certain people. I really, really don't. All right, you have a great one.